Hi, this is a quick video on how to install Puppet Server on Red Hat or CentOS 7.2. This is not a very hard sequence. What you want to do first is get the Puppet repository onto CentOS. So here we have a CentOS prompt. We're at the root level, and over here I just found someone that basically had blogged about how to install this stuff. So let's see how this goes. So here we're going to get the repository set up. This RPM command is actually going to install the correct repository on my server, which does not have the Puppet repository on it yet. So let's install this repository. See how it goes. Looks like it's working on it, but it's not a very fast retrieval. That's a little disheartening how long this takes. Could be a timeout on the internet. This machine is hosted on a Apple server, which I have ESXi 6.0 running. And so I know I have good connectivity to the internet, so there's always a risk when you use these links. They're deprecated and old. So this appears to be simply timing out. Let's take a look at internet connectivity here. So yeah, we can get to the internet. Actually, I upgraded the server recently, so let's take a look at the update repositories that are here so far. So yeah, we're up to date. Let's retry this command again and see what happens. This RPM command from Puppet Labs. So that doesn't look very positive. Let's actually put this to a browser and see what we get here. Sometimes you can resolve this stuff by going into a browser. So in the browser, it finds it. It's able to find that RPM file. So we could save that and then try and install it manually. Let's try that. So sometimes when you get stuck, you can do things this way. So what I'll do is Control C out of this, and then we're going to do a wget on this exact thing here on the repository. So this ought to bring the RPM down to us. And is it going to work? So interestingly, I can get it with a browser, but I can't get it with this system using wget. That's really interesting. Looks like it's trying to get a an IP6 address, which may be confusing it. So probably what I have to do then is disable IP6 on this thing, on this server. This is a new server, and it's been recently put up today. So I'll then want to go and disable this stuff. So I'm typing with one hand, which isn't too fun here. Anyway, we're going to go into sysconfig. Then we're going to go into network scripts. I looked at the IP6 today in network scripts when I was setting this up today. I thought, oh, this won't hurt anything, but hey, IP6 is rolled out, but sometimes it has not full implementation with some of the vendors. So now we're going to simply edit this file, the network config file here for the ETH0 interface. So here you can see we're booting from static. That's my network here at home. This thing is IP address 224. There's my gateway. IP failure, fatal, no. Okay, that's fine. IP6 init, yes. Let's make this no. I don't want it. So we're going to say don't initialize IP6. We're not ready for it. Don't do it. IP6 autoconfig. I think we could leave these alone now. I would personally get rid of them all because I can be superstitious as I don't want any IP6 in here at all. IP6 fatal failure, no, we don't need that. Okay, so on boot, yes, this will boot this ETH0 up. Let's restart the network now and see if we can get that RPM from Puppet Labs. So we've disabled IP6, and what we want to do now is restart the network to see if we can bring IP6 down. So syscontrol, we're going to do a restart on the network. Hopefully this will work fine. Okay, it's thinking about it. There, so now our network is restarted and IP6 hopefully is disabled. So let's go back and see if we can grab that file. There's the wget. Let's try the RPM install now without IP6 and see what happens. See if it'll get it. Looks like we're still stalling here. Let's try the wget. So I'm still seeing IP6 addresses here coming up. So let's get rid of all the IP6 stuff then. So here in a network file, we're going to get rid of all the IP6 stuff. And if I had two hands, I could do this better. Let's just undo this stuff. Undo, 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 undo. There. Let's go down to IP6 here. Get rid of it. Gonna say IP6 no. Leave that there. Kill off this one. Get rid of these. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. There. Now I'm going to reboot the whole server. Let's see how that turns out. There. This will go down and come up. This is all being hosted on an Apple server. So on this Apple server, I have ESXi running, and I also got vCenter on here. So I'm putting on a Puppet VM on this Apple server. It's been quite good for hosting ESXi, which to me is very surprising, being an Apple server, which usually runs desktop stuff. But I read that they did a certification with VMware, and sure enough, it works great with ESXi 6.0. And I have a vCenter running on there too. So now that machine hopefully is back up. Let's log back in. There it is. Let's go back to root. Password is pretty simple, which should be more secure for root. Okay, now we could probably recall that command, which was in here. Nope, it's not going to be easy to find that command. So we'll take the command back off this web sheet here and see if we can get it. There, we got it. Let's put it back in here and see if we can get the Puppet repository installed in this thing. See if we can get it. Okay, there's our command back. Boom. Retrieving. And it's not going to bring it. So what I'm going to do now is stop this video and research why this can't be retrieved. Probably have an old link, and we'll have to get the best link. But this gives me a chance to troubleshoot here and show people how to do troubleshooting. So I'm going to go back in the browser and see if I can pull this down. Let's clean up this link, get the RPM part of it out, see if we can pull it down again. In fact, one way to do this is we can pull it down on the Mac here. Let's try that and pull it down. Okay, so on the Mac, we're going to pull this down and save it. It's going to go into downloads. So the RPM went to downloads. Let's jump on downloads here. Here's a window. Go to downloads. Let's look at the RPM. Okay, there's a Puppet Labs with no architecture, meaning this is just a basic configuration file that's going to go into etc repos D. So let's SCP this thing over to the, we got the file now from Puppet on the Mac. So let's SCP this thing over to the VM that's running on the Macintosh, on the MacBook. No, I'm sorry, the Mac Pro server running ESXi 6.0 on that Red Hat 7.2 VM. Let's SCP this thing over here. Let's see what we can do here. So SCP, and we'll put the file name in here, which we'll cut and paste. Sorry that I'm typing with one hand. This is not too fun with a camera. Okay, there's that. Now what did this thing do? Oh, interesting. So I don't need to do that. So I did the RPM command here. I saw the screen flash. It said updating and installing. So eventually this thing did pull from Puppet Labs. So we did get our repository pulled down. Let's take a look at it. Remember repos.d in here. Repo star. I'm going to do an ls repo star because I always forget the exact name of these things. Nothing like that. So then I forget where this stuff's installed. Well, we'll assume it works. We'll assume because the command worked that we have our correct repros in from Puppet. And we'll head down here and see if we can get the Puppet server. Okay, well, let's grab the Puppet server off of here and see if we can get it. So now we have Yum working, and Yum should pull from Puppet Lab. So anything Yum can't find from the CentOS repos, it'll pull from Puppet Lab now. So let's install it and see if we get it. And it's trying. I suppose it'll be slow, as the other file was very slow from Puppet Lab. So I won't expect this to be a very fast process. It looks like it's finding it, so that's a good sign. Puppet products, so it's going through the different repos on Puppet Labs. Hasn't found it yet. Okay, well, it did find it. There it is. Boy, there's a lot of stuff we need. So as you can see, it's got Ruby dependencies. It's got some gems to put in, got JSON, Ruby gems. So yeah, it's going to put a lot of Ruby code in to support the Puppet server. So that gives us a real indication that Puppet is really coded in Ruby, doesn't it? Okay, let's download this and see how it goes. Looks like it's taking its old time. I'm on a Comcast internet connection here, which is pretty darn fast. So I'm thinking we've got traffic from. Okay, well that was pretty fast. Looks like this last one might be the largest one. Yeah, it's the Puppet module itself. So the supporting stuff went in fast. Puppet will. Okay, it's in. Well, it wants to import some keys now. Yeah, that's okay. So. Okay, Puppet server's in. Dependencies are all in. We got a prompt back, no complaining. Okay, so this next line here will invoke the Puppet command itself. And it's going to basically update itself from the Puppet server, I suppose from Puppet HQ. So let's try that. that'll be interesting. Hopefully Puppet's in the path here. Should be. Let's see. Yep, looks like it is. So running Puppet on ourself. So right now we're looking at this manifest and it's saying ensure Puppet's latest. So Puppet went back to the Puppet server at Puppet Labs and said Puppet server ensure this version, and it did. So we do have the latest Puppet server on here now. So now we can restart the Puppet Master. And that would be true if we did a reversioning, if we had found extra versioning. It might not even be running right now, because I don't think it starts, but it depends what the RPM did. So let's try and restart it. If it's not started, it'll start, I think. Let's give it a try. Okay, so we don't have a Puppet Master init file in this thing, which is interesting. It would be fun to see if this file called Puppet Master exists anywhere, so we could search for it. Go into slash and we'll do a generic find on it. So we'll do a find from slash, and since this server is very small, I don't have a lot of NFS mounts or anything on it, so I know this is not going to get lost in some huge code repository to find this Puppet Master command. But apparently it's not in my path. And so I'm not even certain this thing is even on here. This would be a script that would go into init.d to start up the Puppet Master, but I bet it's not even here at all. Let's see. If it's not, we can find it, we can move it. Nope, it's not. So we'll stop the video here and then we'll debug how to get a initd file for starting Puppet in here. We could either grab one, rewrite it, or we'll probably find one that somebody wrote or the Puppet Labs has. So it looks like we have Puppet code on here. It's probably in bin or something. So yeah, Puppet's in user bin Puppet. So we have everything on here. Now it's going to be time to get the Puppet Master set up and get some accounts on it and try and log into it. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll go further in video number 2. Thanks again.